Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Country Mara here. As many of you may know, this garden got burned back 3 weeks ago. Like, I had to go ahead and remove everything except the bell peppers. Now the garden is coming back to life and I just want to share the entire garden with you today. So in this video, I'm just going to do a garden tour, but I promise you guys next Wednesday, I have a video coming out on what I'll be doing for my fall gardening season. So let's go along and do a tour. What better place to start in the garden than my grow bag area? This area was totally demolished. And when I was redoing this area, I told you guys that I got some cotton callaloo from a friend that took these from New York. Guys, look at the leaves. Not sure how much justice camera is doing this, but these leaves are humongous. I have a few people that have reached out to me and asked for some seeds. As soon as I get seed, you can get any amount that you desire. But these cotton callaloo, they're a good addition to the garden. So most of these bags, I have callaloo in them right now, or amaranth, for those who don't know what we call callaloo in Jamaica. Amaranth. And I have some okras coming up back in these beds. I'll have to go ahead and thin out these okras in a few. So maybe next week, today is Friday, maybe next week I'll start thinning out these okras. Also have some Scotch bonnet peppers coming up for the fall months. And I'm trying to get back in a few scallion because you guys know I try to have scallion in almost every other bag in this garden. So we have more amaranth here than the family can eat. But because we eat amaranth so much, it is what I grow mostly in my garden. We have bell peppers here coming again. We have a lot of blossom and young peppers coming on these bell pepper plants. So I'm quite happy for that. We have some more peppers here. This pepper, it wasn't affected, so it's still doing well. And we also have the Scotch bonnet peppers over on this side, which are still doing well. Also, we have some falling into this grow bag here. I'm just gonna allow those to grow so that I can get seedlings from it to replant in the garden. And here we have some jalapeno peppers which need to be harvested. Don't leave your peppers on the plants as long as I do. The plants will start shutting down, so we don't want that. And we have more okras. Okras more than before, but we have to go ahead and thin them out as I've said before. I've planted 2 seeds to a hole, so the ones that germinated or that I got 100% germination from, I will have to go ahead and thin them out. But overall, this grow bag area has bounced back beautifully. So let's move over now to the ingrown area. So we're now over here in the ingrown area, and this gray stuff that you see here, it's just ash from the grill pan. We have more amaranth or callaloo. The peppers on this side, as I said before, they weren't damaged badly. So they did bounce back quite a bit, and we have been harvesting, but we still have a lot of peppers on these plants. Over on this side, I think this is called a fish pepper, something like that. This one is coming back, but I went ahead and replant some seeds from this one. So this is what the ingrown bed is looking like. I'm going to be taking you guys over now to a joy of mine in the garden recently. A new favorite of mine in the garden, beans. Before I used to tell you guys that I don't like planting beans in the garden, and nothing much has changed. The reason why I don't like planting beans in the garden is growing up, we used to plant a lot of beans, or my uncle used to plant a lot of beans, and it was quite a hassle to harvest them during the fall time and also to shell them, or that's to get the beans out of the pod. So I just remember it being very hard work and stressful. So I just didn't want that in my garden. So I did a video maybe about 6 months ago telling you guys that I would never plant beans in my garden. Well, I've changed my mind after planting these beans from Baker's Creek. These are the snake beans, and they're called the Chinese python. In about 4 videos back, I said these were called yard-long beans. I was mistaking them for a next bean that I planted around the next side of the house, which resemble these, but not as long, and I'll take you to that bean in a few. However, this variety is called the snake bean, Chinese python, and this is what it looks like. So if you want to go, you can check out Baker's Creek. I'm not sponsored, I'm just telling you where I got these, and these have been a total game changer for me. When it comes to bean, I normally shy away from it and rather to go to the grocery store and pick up beans. However, these have been working out so well. They cook down very easily. You just do them in a stir fry. It takes about 5 minutes to stir fry. I gave one to a friend and I saw him did a slit on it and took the seeds out, and then he curried it. And I was like, why did he slit it and took the seeds out? But then I did know that I was eating the younger ones that didn't have much seeds in them. Those seeds weren't hard. So the one that I gave him was a bit more mature. So he had was to take out the seeds out of it and slice it up and curry it, which he told me was very delicious. I'm going to try that curry bean also. But so far, I've been doing these beans with carrots and amaranth, and they are lovely. So if you want something like this in your garden for the fall months, the package here says that it takes about 5 to 8 days to sprout. These beans sprouted on me within 3 to 4 days. So with ideal conditions, you can have early germination and growth. And also on the package here, it's saying that the ideal temperatures for these beans, to plant these beans in, or that they grow in, is between 75 degrees Fahrenheit and 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So these beans can handle the heat, and trust me, they have been going through the Florida heat. Very great. I used to think that okras can handle the heat, but most time in the height of the days, when the days are in the mid-90s, the okras will shrivel back a bit. These beans, nothing, they don't react to it. They're just there going through the heat. So if you're in a tropical or subtropical place, or anywhere that you get excessive heat and you want to plant some beans that will produce, trust me, I would recommend these snake beans. I have to be looking at the paper because I used to call them yard-long beans for so long, which they weren't. So these are snake beans, Chinese python. Let me just show you guys one more time. And they're very delicious. So it's a next good one to have in the garden. I don't want to get carried away here with these beans, but this is what they really look like. And I'm going to pick one before the end of this video. I'm going to harvest one and just show you guys the true length of one of these beans. So let's move on to something else in the garden. Over here in the ingrown area, we still have things going on here. We have more bell peppers here to harvest. I think I'm going to come in today before the rain, get those. I have cucumbers there coming up. Who say you can't plant cucumber in Florida heat? Well, it's hard, but this time of year, late July going into early August, you can start taking chance with a few cucumbers. We have more Scotch bonnet peppers on this side. Let me see if I can get a better angle. We have Scotch bonnet peppers here, and this is really the ingrown area, what it's looking like. So we still have food in the garden, even though we got a setback, and even though it's the summer months, because people love to tell you that summer months in Florida, you just have to plant cover crop. Nothing is further from the truth than that. So let's go around the next side of the yard and I can show you guys what's happening around there. Here we also have some spinach coming up on this trellis. I'm going to allow it to trellis and just take over with the bean right here. So as long as this bean is here, I'm just going to leave it, and when it starts dying back, if it starts dying back before the fall months, I'll just replant. Last season I had problem growing things here because it was so shaded. Now I went ahead and just decided that I'll do gingers in this location. So all these bags, we have gingers in it. So this is what the ginger plant look like. And this is all ginger for my fall and winter season. We have some that had died back here, but then they're coming up again. So everything right here is ginger. We're now over to the side where we have the cockatiel aviary, we have more bell peppers, and we have some beautiful okras. These okras were here before the set that are in the bags, so they're doing way much better, or they're larger. Not saying they're doing much better, they're larger. And this right here is just one of my buckets that I store rabbit manure in. Over in this bed, I told you guys that I wouldn't do anything to the sweet potato. They will bounce back because they are root crop. There they are. So the sweet potatoes have bounced back. They haven't filled the bed out as yet, but I'm still waiting. These things are runners, so they will take over everything. I have some eggplants that I was a bit hesitant to take out of the garden after the burn back, but then I should have gone ahead and just removed them. So this is one of my beds that isn't doing so well right now, because these eggplants, I should have been harvesting from these maybe about a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, and still should have been harvesting. So I'm gonna remove these and start planting some different stuff in this bed. It's coming up to the fall months, and as I've said to you guys, I'm going to start doing my fall preparation in my video coming out on Wednesday. So look out for that video. Who is here in Central Florida or in Florida on a whole or in a tropical environment can come along with us, go along with us, ride along wherever you are, and when it's your time, you can apply the same principles. We have the bananas over here. Still have that banana there. And down this little corridor here, we have some pumpkins which are doing very well. I tell you guys about the Indian pumpkins here in Florida, even though I know about the Seminole pumpkin that it does well here in Florida, but the Indian pumpkin is quite a contender to the Seminole pumpkin. We have been getting tons of pumpkins off these plants. I'll show you a larger one that I've harvested maybe about a week or two ago. And since we're here, this is the bean that I was mistaken. This is a different variety of yard long, but the ones over on the other side of the house, those are snake beans. We have some loafer here. And these loafer are doing well right here. We have a lot of blossom on it also, so we should be getting more. We have a baby one right up here. And these are my sorrel, what you guys call roselle. I have 6 plants, and this should be good enough for my Christmas sorrel harvest. Also have more watermelons here. More watermelon and more watermelon. So most of the things are doing quite well in the garden still. So who said that you can't have a full garden throughout the summer months in Florida? I think they're mistaken. This is one of the pumpkins that we got from the Indian pumpkin around that side. And trust me, these pumpkins, they will compete with Seminole pumpkins here in Florida. They do handle the heat very well. Let me just take you guys over and show you how these pumpkins perform. That's a pumpkin right there, and that one is ready. Maybe I'll have to slit this mesh that I have here to get that pumpkin out. We'll come over here again. This is the next pumpkin right here. Here I have 2 mangoes. These are the mangoes, the Julie and the East Indian mangoes that I got last fall, and we planted them on the front lawn, but they burnt back during the cold spell that we had, and I went ahead and just put the roots into some containers. So I'm not sure if this part we're going to get fruit from it anytime soon, because most time where you get the fruits from on these plants is the grafted area. So maybe they have burnt back below the graft, and this would have been the younger plant. So we'll just have to watch and see, but I'm just going to keep them and just up-pot them into some larger containers. Something that I need to share with you guys that I didn't follow up on, and it was those lettuce that I planted back maybe about 2 months ago, heat-tolerant lettuce. You can go back and find that video, or if I can find it and put it up somewhere, I'll just put it up. But these are the lettuces, and they didn't do that well. Yes, they germinated, which you can see that they grow, but they bolted on me maybe about after 2.5 weeks. So they didn't do well in the heat, even though they were labeled as heat-tolerant lettuces. I have some rosemary. I'm starting them in containers just to get them to plant out in the garden, maybe about in the month of September or so. So I'm doing some rosemary start. Some people had asked me for mint. I have a few mint plants here coming up for the mint folks. So you guys will be getting your mint. I know I don't take you guys on the front a lot, but this is what the front is looking like. This is the mulberry plant, and we have a lot of mulberries on it. So I'm going to be doing some mulberry drink this Sunday. We also have the peach right here. Leaves are falling off. Maybe it's a time of year for it. And I went ahead after that cold spell and got back a lychee. Also over here I got an apple. But when I was buying this apple, I met an Indian gentleman from Guyana that was telling me that these apples, they don't do well here in Central Florida. But I still went ahead and was willing to take the chance and see how it does right here. Here's the longan coming back. If you guys notice, it had dried back, but it's coming up from the root area. And we have more peaches over here and a few more citrus. So this is a lemon, and this one here is a lime. Here, this is a persimmon, and I thought I would have gotten fruits from this because it had a lot of baby fruits on it, and then everything just started falling off. So I don't know if it was a deficiency, a nutrients deficiency or what, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to just dig a hole somewhere, maybe about 6 to 10 inches away from the root area, and just bury some rabbit manure there so that it can nourish this plant. And I'll see if I can get some persimmon very soon from it. I promised you guys early on in the video that I'm gonna be harvesting one of these and let you guys see exactly the length of it. So let me just move over to that side and show you guys exactly what these are looking like. This is the length of one of these beans. So I'm telling you guys, planting these, you can't lose no matter what you do. You'll have more beans than you can consume. And with these beans, the more you harvest them, is the more they're gonna produce. They're like okras in a certain sense. The more you harvest, you go in and harvest, the more okras you're gonna get. Same goes for these beans. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little garden tour. I did it just to show you guys how fast the garden can bounce back and how fast things can grow when you're in a subtropical climate. It's hard to make mistakes when you're in a tropical or subtropical climate. The grow seasons are so long that we can do almost anything that we want and correct them most of the time when you're in a tropical or subtropical climate. For the fall, I'm gonna put up a next picture of this bean somewhere here from Baker's Creek. I don't know where else you can get it, but I'm sure you can get it from Baker's Creek. They were out of stock maybe about 2 months ago, but we went ahead and ordered a few and we got them yesterday, so they have more in stock now. So if you guys want, you guys can just run over. I don't have any link to it. As I said before, it's not sponsored. It's just something that I'm doing and I really like it and I would love to share it with you guys. So if you're a gardener, whether it be here in Florida, in the Caribbean, wherever in the world you are, you can try these beans. So that's going to be it from Country Mara. God bless you all. See you in the next one. Happy gardening and cheers.